Toastmaster Sudesh, I get energized with your words, and particularly the tone, the way you narrate. No, it is like giving me a feeling that I am on an international stage. Thanks for a warm welcome on an evening. Good evening, District 121, our sister district of District 92, our brother district now. This year, it is a brother district, right? So we have. Before I start, I will acknowledge the presence of all the leaders here, starting from our District Director of District 121, DTM Narayanan, PQD, DTM Arjun, CGD, DTM Subramaniam, and district officers. And I see past District Director Powers also joining here, DTM Powers, and all the other area directors, district division directors, and so on. So how many of you have joined Toastmasters to improve your communication skills? I just want answers from probably the newbies who have joined in this meeting today. When I saw that, Pooja Satnur is raising communication, okay? Aditi, Arpita, Shivram, Kavita, Sridhar, everyone is raising their hands for communication skills, presentation skills. Samjit is mentioning presentation skills. So, yeah, that is a very, very interesting take. Most of us joined Toastmasters for storytelling as well. Communication skills and storytelling and presentation skills. Now, there is one other element which you indirectly or which you can indirectly pick it up from Toastmasters is on leadership skills. So, how many of you have join Toastmasters to take up the leadership skills that are there in plenty in Toastmasters? Now I am seeing Pandya Rajan is raising his hands for leadership skills. Division Director Pandya Rajan. Thanks. Sachin. Interesting. Meera Rao. Aditya Santosh. Manoj. So the next 30-40 minutes, we will try to see how Toastmasters can help you in honing your leadership skills. And as the title says, wow your leadership journey in Toastmasters. It is not only the communication part which we Toastmasters teach. There are, in a very, very subtle way, the Toastmasters help you in gaining multiple skills in leadership as well. So I will take use of a presentation for you to understand, probably to ask some questions then and there, and see whether it is making sense for you to join that. Typically, two types of people are there. One, the communication. The second one is about leadership. So I believe one of the goals for any of the Toastmasters who are joining their in Toastmasters for their communication would be on TEDx platform. I need to be a TEDx speaker. I need to be a world champion in public speaking. Another category of people is about enterprise leader. It can be a team leader, it can be a manager, it can be a group leader, or whatever the titles you have. So today we will see mostly on the leadership front, and some elements of communication we will touch it up as we go. And we'll see how this will help you and what are the different opportunities that are there in terms of Toastmaster. As we speak, now, I am going to ask you the next question. So what are the areas you think you are lacking in terms of leadership skills? People can chat, use the chat box, or if you want to give an annotation, you can use that annotation. What are the different things which you feel you have as a kind of a limitation in terms of leadership skills? Any messages? Any charts? Delegating to others, negotiation, lack of confidence. What else? Very interesting. Strategic thinking, speaking in front of big crowd. Yep. Communicating, lack of patience, assertiveness. Nishang, influencing, delivering through process, assertive communication, vision. Vision itself is lacking. Yeah. Ability to get others to coordinate, immediate result. We all want immediate results, right? Pandya Rajan, very good point. Immediate result. What else? Any other? Motivate others, leading others. Wow. The list goes on and on. And these are all our circle of concern. right? These are all the points which we think we joined Toastmasters, and these are all the areas where we have as a kind of a circle of concern. So some of the things, whatever you have told, maybe there here, delegation, motivating others, right? And leading teams, decision making. These are all the areas which we think we are lacking as of now. So how do we increase our circle of concern, reduce the circle of concern, and bring it to a state where you increase your circle of influence? That is where we are going to see here the next few minutes or so, how we can increase the circle of concern and improve our leadership skills in Toastmasters. So Toastmasters doesn't give leadership on a platform or a golden platter. It requires efforts. It requires a lot of efforts in terms of gaining that kind of a skill. The first and foremost skill or first and foremost element what is required is some amount of sacrifice. How do you sacrifice? Today, if you look at it, the people who are there on the screen, they have sacrificed a beautiful Sunday evening and ensured that you are getting that kind of an experience to gain some insights from various individuals. So that is the sacrifice what I mean, where you need to start as a small volunteer, where you will be in a position to give that back to the society, and then you can take something from Toastmasters. And in the words of Lance Miller, our own world champion in public speaking in 2004, he believes Toastmaster is a process. A process, if you take a definition, it is a series of actions or operations marked by gradual changes that leads towards a particular result. Anyone in this room who are a quality guy? Anyone in this room who is a quality assurance or quality? Yeah, Sachin, you may try to figure it out, right? So you'll have all definitions in your quality assurance manual, where you need to commit what you are going to do, and you need to record it, and you need to again say that I have done that. This is what it is. And the definitions are very, very important. And Sachin, you really says that for a quality output, you need to have a strong process. So Toastmasters is also a process. And the process, it takes time. It takes in terms of a small steps, which will help you to reach your goal of what you want to achieve in Toastmaster. And it is a kind of a series of actions. And it is not one single action. It is multiple actions. I'll explain in the next few slides on how it is next series of actions or operations. So where do we start? Typically, when you are entering a Toastmaster, I'm sure nearly 63 participants are there in this Zoom, and maybe out of which maybe around 30-40 people definitely you are less than 1 year, 2 year in Toastmasters. Is that right, Subbu? Do we have very senior members joining here? You're on
senior member joining here, maybe they're into their 10th year or 12th year.
Okay, great. So the others predominantly, I believe it is all in the initial part of their journey, correct?
Most of the members have joined in last 6 months.
Thank you. So for you to, if you are wondering, where do I start my Toastmaster journey? It is very simple. You start from your club level. So club is a very, very easy way to start your activity. And you need to see what are the things you want to achieve in the next few years. You need to have a timeline. You need to have a period where it will tell from one level to other level, if at all you want to go. You need to pick some kind of a competencies, a group of skills which you need to improve. So it may be a time management, it may be a listening skill, it may be a planning, it may be mentoring, whatever you're told as areas of concern. So those elements, you can pick it up. Okay, I'm going to focus on time management in next few weeks or months in my club. That is the one simple thing you can start with. Then listening I can focus on for the next 4 months, or something I can start in parallel, a planning and mentoring as an exercise in the next 6 months time period, so that I can reach one state as a future state. So this period is very, very important. Please note, as a process, whatever I gave as a definition, it is kind of a series of actions which you need to take. And for taking that series of action, you need to know why are you doing what you are doing. Very simple. The purpose should be known. And the purpose comes from your own identification of the competencies which you think you need to address it. You have mentioned it. Some of you have mentioned it, like I need the delegation skills. I need the leading others skill. I need the skill of motivating. So those skills, you can pick it up and identify in your own goal sheet of next 6 months, I am going to focus on these top 3 or top 4 goals. So you cannot eat all the competencies at one time. Start small, start slow, where you will be in a position to achieve it and do it right time. So how many of you have had completed the lunch as of now? Some of you, most of you. So any unique dish anyone had today? Don't tell biryani, standard dishes you don't tell. Any unique dish, you can unmute and say. Feel free. We are all gentle human beings and we will not knock your doors immediately. You can tell that. Tacos. So PRM Ashwin is telling about tacos. You know tacos. Can you explain, Ashwin, that how the tacos looks like in 1 or 2 sentences?
Hey, distinguished Toastmasters.
Don't show it. It will be.
Sure. So tacos are like hard tortilla chips, like puppets that are in the shape of a U with filling in between. You can bite on them.
Right. So you just imagine this tacos with fillings. The tacos is a kind of a hard chapati. So for those who do not know, it is a kind of a hard chapati. In between, the red beans, the avocado, and couple of other stuff are ground and then put it. Now, how do you taste it? You cannot taste the tacos fully. You need to take it bite by bite. Can you imagine? Just to close it and imagine yourself, you are taking the tacos bite by bite. It's very important for you to taste each and every bite. In leadership also, it is same. You cannot have the entire taco stuffed in your mouth at one gulp. Then you'll be choking. So you need to take it bite by bite. So every journey, every leadership journey, it is like that. You need to enjoy it. You need to enjoy that particular bite at that particular stage. That is where I have indicated as a step-by-step process, where first step, you take focus on time management. The second step, you focus on the planning. Third step, you focus on mentoring and so on. So when you are having a food, that food item, you should give that kind of a time to get into your taste buds and soak inside, and then you will get that real benefit of whatever you are eating. The same thing in leadership. You have the ability to bite. You have the ability to do that particular wait for whatever you want, and you need to wait for that particular time. So this is where we start with our goal. Please remember this, you should have a kind of an accountability partner who can help you in terms of managing this. If you are a leader, you need to surrender yourself to someone. That may be your friend, that may be your spouse, that may be your whoever you have a trust or you feel like a mentor. You need to tell them, okay, you watch me and tell me whether I am progressing or not. Seek their inputs on timely basis. That is where your start and end will be very good. And for that, you need to start as a volunteer. Start it in your club. Very simple. And you know, there are plenty of roles in Toastmasters, in your meeting roles itself, which will help you in acquiring all these skills. I just given a snapshot of multiple roles, what you have in Toastmaster. You have starting from Sergeant at Arms. Sergeant at Arms is the most important role to give that energy for the meeting, right? That's what people tell. He's like an engine of the meeting. And the engine doesn't crank, then the meeting will not go in the right way. Probably some other person can come and take it up. But as a Sergeant at Arms, you have the ability to crank it up well. Imagine this poor guy here. This poor guy, he needs to introduce the presiding officer, the same presiding officer you need to introduce in different ways in the 26 weeks, 6 months term period. Is it possible? Now imagine our Arjun is there, PQD. Now you can introduce 26 different ways in 26 weeks. It is possible, absolutely possible. Now, if you are introducing me, same that the 10-year story, whatever Sudesh has mentioned, that is what you can tell. That kind of a variety from where you need to bring, that will come from your creative element. And you will be challenging yourself for that creativity, challenging yourself to create certain things which will help you to introduce the presiding officer in the next meeting. And every time when you introduce, do you want to introduce a golden rule in the same way? You can introduce in multiple way, right? That is where the first skill of creativity, which you acquire in Sergeant at Arms. As indicated here, it is presiding officer, a Toastmaster of the day, a general evaluator, a speaker, a table topic master, table topic speaker, an evaluator. Everyone has got different skills gained in that 2 to 3 minutes period. What is left to you? It is very difficult to combine all these things and then see what are the skills I am going to gain. You are going to gain that in an indirect way, and there is no direct dictionary or definition which will tell you, okay, you do this, you will be getting it. And you will be immersing yourself to get that particular skill. What you get is what you give. If at all, if you want to try confidence on the public platform, try that essay role, start, and then come onto the stage and then deliver that Sergeant at Arms speech. Listening, a speech evaluator, a general evaluator. That is a place where you gain listening skills in a great way. Even Toastmaster of the day will help you in terms of listening skills, because you need to use the points what the speaker has spoken and you need to utilize it in your transition statements. Critical thinking in your impromptu speeches. This is where you get, as an impromptu speaker, you get your TMOD, you need to get, and then your speech evaluator, you'll be getting that critical thinking. And even your general evaluator, you will be getting as an critical thinking. So team building, facilitation skills, how do you do that? TMOD, again, you need to build a small team and you need to tell that, okay, you take the general evaluator, you take the other roles, and we'll figure out what is the theme, what is the meeting setup. You work with the SAA, okay, we need this kind of a setup for this week. All these elements comes into picture. Mentoring. So there will be speech mentors, right? So when they mentor the speeches, they do provide some kind of an insights which will help them. The same way, the mentoring of the club, that you can do it when you start your journey. So these meeting roles is not restricted to this. Some clubs, they have listeners. Some clubs, they have joke master. Some clubs, they have observational humorist. So many new roles they have. And Zoom moderator, this is a very new role in Toastmasters after 2020. So Zoom moderator is a kind of a role where you need to flip between various screens, give them the access, all these small tech savvy things which you can gain. So you can start with your meeting rules. So there is a comparison which is made a couple of years back. Our own division director in District 92. What is that role in Toastmasters and what is the equivalent in any typical organization? SAA is like in facilities and IT support. Is like the go-to person for any kind of a support what he needs in terms of this conducting a meeting. Secretary, it's like a compliance officer. You will record the document and you will say that, share the document with everyone, and you need to point it out to that required team saying that, hey, this is not okay, that is not okay. Treasurer is equal to a CFO, VPPR, CMO, is kind of a chief marketing officer. You need to boost that kind of a brand, which he will tell that, okay, we exist. Some of the clubs in D121 do remarkably well in terms of their promotion, in terms of their marketing. Every week I see this kind of the posters coming out, and that brand is so appealing. And VP membership, no wonder. President is like a CEO. For me, CEO is a person who, in Toastmasters particularly, he is a person who creates exciting opportunity. That is a definition what I believe for a CEO. If that person understands that role, and if he executes that vision and makes that things happen, he is going to be a leader on his own. 6 months is a period, very, very, very valid period, 26 weeks, and just multiply 1.5 hours into 26 weeks. You are getting nearly 40 hours of experience. Any skill, you'll be having that kind of 40 hours of experience over a period of time. When you do repeatedly, you're going to get that. They say, no, if you repeatedly do that, that becomes a habit, and that habit will lead you to excellence. That is where you get that particular opportunity in any role in the club. And people who are already crossed 6 months, they may be wondering, hey, can you stop with the club? Club itself is sufficient. No, if your dreams are only within Kerpuram, Maratali, Whitefield, you can be there. You stop with that. But if your dreams are beyond Kerpuram, Maratali, and Whitefield, and sorry, I'm talking in D92, probably that side of the team, Jayanagar, JP Nagar, and Banshankari, right?
Silk board, sir.
Silk board. If you want to stop before Silk board, you stop it. But if you want to explore different territories, there is a Shimoga, there is a kind of a place, Mangalore, with more than 20 plus clubs. If you want to explore and see how we can influence them, you need to start beyond, going beyond. And for that, you need to see that you have the stamina to serve and live. When I say stamina, each and every activity you need stamina. I said, no, today when we started, these guys have sacrificed their Sunday afternoon and they're helping all of us in terms of getting this session. And do you have that stamina to do that repeatedly, week after week, week after week, weekdays? And typically, how many hours you spend, Subbu, on a week for Toastmasters?
I think minimum 10 to 12 hours.
10 to 12 hours. Yep. So that is where the contribution you make. Some guys spend 30 hours, 40 hours to get there. The hours doesn't matter. The quality of hours is what you spend for Toastmaster to serve and lead, right? So now you want to serve beyond the club, you may need to have that time, and you are creating a bandwidth for your own self to do that service. That is all it takes. And when you do that service, you are going to be transforming yourself into a great leader. So the left-hand side, it is all the roles, what you have in a club. Now, when you are transforming it into an area director or division director, you will be attached with multiple clubs. I believe some of the area governors, area directors, they have more than 6 clubs, right, Subbu? So they have 6 clubs in their territory. So they need to spend 6 times the time which they would have spent in club. So you can multiply the number of opportunities what they get in terms of persuasion, in terms of program management, in terms of volunteering, in terms of teamwork and change management. Change is inevitable. And our Toastmasters International is starting with an ERP, and that is a lot of changes that has. And it gives a lot of opportunities for us to learn and provide the right feedback. And you need to communicate to the members and influence them. That is where this change management comes into picture. And when you start all these things, what you are trying to do is you are transforming yourself with a smaller bandwidth to a greater bandwidth. So after completing my district director role, I was just wondering what I'm going to do. The next minute, the July 1st, 2021, I was looking, I had a bandwidth of almost 30-40 hours per week. What should I do with that? That is an additional bandwidth I could get. Each and every individual who is spending time, they get that kind of a bandwidth to concentrate on their own professional growth and personal life as well. So this is kind of an choking yourself and telling yourself to tell, okay, I am going to contribute this, and this will become a routine for me in future. And in routine for in future will help you to achieve certain things greater than what you are in life. That is the one big advantage in Toastmasters. In Toastmasters, whatever the service is there, up to region, it is all for 1 year only. Beyond 1 year, you need not worry. If you want to continue, you can continue and you can take it up the next role. It is not an what you call dynastic setup where you need to give it to your son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter. No, it's not like that. You need to serve and then you need to go out. That is what Toastmasters beauty. You help yourself in terms of achieving the goal for a specific period and move on. It is like a project. Project managers, any project managers are here. I'm not sure whether any PMP chapter members are here, PMA chapter members are here, but they will tell a project is a kind of a temporary endeavor to deliver a unique product or service. That is the definition of a project. So if you consider 1 year term as a project and deliver that unique service to yourself, include that particular listening skill as a kind of a service for yourself or service for others. Include that particular element in this project. That way you will be in a position to transform yourself to a greater height. And it doesn't stop with that. There are multiple roles in Toastmasters which will help you to grow. So you see this is a snapshot which is available in District Leadership Handbook, and you can download it in from web, and it is all available in Google. It is Googleable. Yesterday I learned this word, Googleable. So you can find it out from that, and you can see the number of roles that is there. So it is on the left hand side you have all the club roles, then you have the area roles, division roles, district roles, and then you have the region advisor and international officer or so. As you step up one by one, you have the ability to check what you are going to get in every role. For example, area director, what he is going to get as a kind of a competencies. This is a standard available in the same district leadership competencies. You will be getting motivating people skill, you will be getting coaching and mentoring skills, and you will get analytical skills. This is very, very simple. It is all captured in district leadership competencies which you will gain. If you are not having, sometimes you may feel that, oh, yeah, I don't have this. Am I eligible for that? So Toastmasters is a safe place to make mistakes. That is what we always say. Not only in communication, even in leadership also. Sometimes the leadership mistakes may be slightly impacting the clubs, but that is where the next level of leaders come and step in and support the members as appropriate. So you are going to get these competencies if you are going to serve as an area director. And if you are going to serve as a division director, strategic thinking and planning, empowering and developing members, coaching and mentoring, and analytical skills. These are the skills which you will get in terms of serving as a division director. I'm showing a big picture. So each and every role, meeting role, you'll get this kind of a competencies. In your club roles, club excom roles, you'll be getting similar competencies. And in your area division director and any district role, you'll be getting similar competencies and more competencies for you to develop. So it is your choice, your goal, what you need to fix it up and see that what you can take it up. Every role as a competency map, and it is not only restricted to direct roles which have been identified by Toastmasters. Every district, they have their own roles created. I think Subbu can correct me if any of the roles is missing here. They have club sponsors, club mentors, club CAC, club incubation center. What is the equivalent in D121? You can correct me. New club specialist or any club extension chairs you have, any linkers meet, joint meeting, any variation you can mention. They have the roles, a kind of volunteer roles which support the clubs, which support the club growth, which supports the marketing, which supports the membership drive, which supports the club's health. These are all the small roles which are available where you can step outside the club and volunteer at a district.
Open house, sir. Open house.
Open house coordinator, right? Or open out support person who can help you in terms of conducting open houses. So that is there. Membership drive, open house, it is here. But if anything, same thing with program quality director office. He can do then see your club officers training, TLI, Toastmasters Leadership Institute programs conducting through EduCom, education sessions, pathways coordinators, support in contest, chief judge, and different level of judging, mentoring, club mentor, and then individual mentors, and then youth leadership program. Even though it is not in direct district mission, but still some of our district offices lend that support for developing the next set of leaders, catching them young and giving them that particular opportunity. Like this, every district officer role, they have their own small setup office. It's not an office located in Eco World or Eco Space or some place. It is a kind of a virtual place where these guys are come together and volunteer to support the district mission. To sum it up, Toastmasters is a mean, it is not an end. The true test lies in how well you speak inside and outside the Toastmasters. How well you lead outside is very, very important. So this is the words of Lance Miller, our own world champion in public speaking, which is very, very close to my heart, because if you are learning from Toastmasters, you are not going to come and lead it here. You need to go and lead it in your organization elsewhere. And that is where, if you are influencing there, and if you can build a delegation skills, if you can show your delegation skills there, if you can show and do the planning skills, that is where the true test of Toastmasters lies in, and you will be successful, and you are successful by utilizing Toastmasters. And there the wow element comes in. Whatever you have learned here, you will be learning and demonstrating it elsewhere. That is where that wow comes in. In summary, from Martin Luther King's words, the most pertinent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? In growth, in any leadership journey, it is not about self. It is not about one's individual growth alone. It is about what are you doing for others? How did you help others to grow? What is the learning you have? What is the contribution you have made? What is the growth you can help others to achieve? That is the one which you all have. To start with, be a volunteer and be a leader. Any questions?
Yeah, hello everyone. This is the time for question and answer. So in case if you have any question, unless if you have put in the chat window, please go ahead and ask. Otherwise, I have a couple of questions that I've captured from you guys, and I'm going to put it out for distinguished Toastmaster Bhupati Shankar. So this is the first question from Rohit Gupta. He's asking mostly about grammar. Grammar is part of communication skills. How Toastmasters can enhance these specific skills?
You are mentioning about grammar?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have a role as a grammarian in every club meeting, right? So this is very, very important skill for people who are aspiring to be a kind of an leader in on their own. Imagine you are getting an email where you don't check it out. So of course, Microsoft Office will tell everywhere read, and it will give alternate option, but you need to know the right option to pick. Where do you get that? It will tell three options. Do you want to use this? Do you want to use this? Do you want to use this? For example, when we write please advise, it will tell red underlined. Whether you want to advise or advise, which one you want to use? You will be challenged to do that if you do not know the right grammar. And every meeting, if you take the grammarian role, you will have an opportunity to listen to someone and see whether the words arrangement is correctly placed and they are using the right grammar or not, whether they are having a different way of using it, that you can identify. In Indian context, we always use sentence as question. If you remember, if you want to say, are you okay? We say that you're okay. That is a question. But in Indian context, you are okay. It's a statement in true grammar sense. You don't acknowledge that as a question unless you put that word in the right place. Are you okay? It doesn't indicate as a question. So these are the small things which you can pick it up when people speak. write it down as a feedback and learn from others. So the beauty of Toastmasters is helping each other, right? You can read or you can observe and you can write and you can row yourself to the next level. So observation and correction is a very important requirements of this particular role, and it will help you in your journey wherever you want in your professional context. Is it a right thing or wrong thing? You're using a right language in a professional thing. I have seen multiple emails. See, for me, the auto correction is biggest enemy for me. That's what I tell my colleagues. So for Bhupati, they maybe not now, a few years back when they wrote Dear Bhupati, somebody was writing Dear Footpath, Bhutpath, because it's of auto correction. You know, my Bhupati name got different alternate suggestions, and people didn't pay attention to what is that alternate it is giving. So Bhupati turned Bhutpath, Footpath. It's all, I wanted to sue Bill Gates. Poor fellow, he was going through some tough times. I left him there. But otherwise, I would have sued him for giving such an alternate for my name. So you don't give alternates. Why you want to spoil my name here? So that is where you need to have that attention and the ability to get that particular skill. And I would use this skill for developing your own language. So hope that addresses that question over asked, Sudesh.
All right, thanks. Yeah, advice versus advice. I always get confused. I'm sure that most of us get confused with some of the words, and the tips are going to definitely help us all. The next question is from someone, I think is from a corporate club. What is the demand for Toastmasters in companies?
Very, very high, because it is that this all marketing stuff. CGT, you should thank me and you need to treat me at a later stage, but still I will give this kind of an inputs. So very, very high for organizations. It's a very, very economical program to build a team. It is very important to build teams in organizations, and Toastmasters plays a very important role. Imagine a supply chain folk, a production and engineering and manufacturing and project management guys come together and relax and speak on their own personal topics in a Toastmasters environment. They are going to bond outside that meeting as well. This happened to me personally when I started my journey in 2010, where I was supporting as a kind of a program cost account manager in US. And that role, when I joined the Toastmaster, there was a program manager, there was a reliability engineer, there was a health diagnostic engineer. All these guys were there where I could use my rapport built in Toastmasters outside the meeting in that organization. There is more importance in Toastmasters, in organizations for Toastmasters. It is an easy way to improve your leadership skills. Tell me now, how many of your managers, those who are working in corporate, how many of your managers help you in mentoring? You tell me. Any mentors you have? Ashwin is nodding his head, very left, right, left, right, left, right. Is there any mentors for you in your organization? Is there any mentor who tells you how do you speak on a stage? Is there any mentor in organization who will help you to present in a presentation? I mean, a review meeting. If you say yes, then Toastmasters are not required. If you say no, then Toastmasters are very much required in corporate. Please note all these small skills what we gain, that is not for Toastmasters. That is all for organizations. That is all for the community. That is all for the colleges. And we need to remember that. That is where it is more important that organizations have this Toastmasters club. Hope that addresses your question.
Thank you. The next question, even I have this question because I get often distracted by a lot of gadgets, the tools, the Zoom, you name it. How to deal with distracted audience?
Could you repeat the last few lines?
Yeah,
Sorry.
how to deal with distracted audience? Distracted
audience. See, yeah. I'll tell you, I'll use my, it is not only Toastmaster skills, it is also a skill which I was trying to learn from my teacher mom. Whenever there is a trouble making student, you focus your attention to the next person who is making the next person sitting next to the troublemaking student. So that means the distracting audience always have a partner. It is not that you distract alone. It is kind of a company, right? So that company, you need to see how they are making. So when you start asking questions to them, interacting questions, then automatically the attention is diverted from the distracting audience to yourself. As a speaker, I believe you need to have a great audience connect. The great audience connect is to have an interactive mode of communication. If you are doing a monkey bath kind of a speech, that will not work. You can record it and listen, and there will be a lot of value in that. But in a setup where there are potential conflicts, where you have different way of, you need to tell a concept, you need to tell certain ways to address that audience, then you need to make it interactive, make it personal. What it is in for me, the audience should feel. If that, what is it for me, why FM, that is what they say. If it is not there, then audience will be distracted forever. That is where you need to practice that skill. Welcome to Toastmasters. You will practice that skill.
Thank you.
Now,
Yeah, the next
Vishwanatha
question.
MR has raised his hands. If you want
thanks for providing opportunity for asking question. I have two questions. Number
Please.
one, there is a lot of stuff, it is available, lot of stuff for data information available in the head, but at the same time we will not be able to deliver at the right time at right place, and after the conservation is over, we felt that we are like something like missing the bus. So is it comes by practice or some other method? This is question number 2. And question number 2 is like fluently talking without like people talk very fluently, like Rishi is speaking as a new Prime Minister of United Kingdom. Like will it again comes by step, as you said rightly, like taco seating, or is some methodology is there?
Yes. So thanks for that interesting question, Toastmaster Vishwanatha. You answered the question. It all comes from practice. Practice, practice, practice. There is no mantra or secret for that. That is where I believe you need to grab that particular stage time. In the words of Darren LaCroix, one more world champion, is the stage time, stage time, stage time. As many times if you go on the stage and practice that, that is where your confidence levels will go up and your ability to communicate with people will go up and you will be as fluent as you need. So tell me one thing, anyone in this room is having English as mother tongue? Please raise your hands. You can drop your hands, Vishwanath. Anybody else? Anyone in this room have English as mother tongue? No. Right? Rohan said, oh, okay. There is no one who is having English as mother tongue. That means you are not comfortable. If for everyone it is a second language, or someone it would maybe third language. They might have studied all throughout there in different parts of the country and moved one left, right, north, east, west, everywhere. And for them, that is not their mother tongue. So you need to allow yourself and see that you can do better in the coming days. I give one small input to all the individuals who are here. Record your first speech. With the advent of this technology, now the recording of your speeches have become so easy. Record your first icebreaker speech. Keep that as a kind of a benchmark. Keep that next recording and keep adding in your recordings one by one for every speech what you are delivering. When you are delivering your speeches, as you see, you will be in a position to see the transformation what you are having over a period of time. It doesn't happen overnight. It comes with this self-awareness. Starting from the self-awareness, you will be transforming. For example, someone may have an habit of putting their hands in the pocket, right? That is that self-awareness our evaluator would have went. Please keep your hands free. That is the first time you get a trigger. Oh, I am keeping my hands in my pocket all the time. Next step, you will be opening your hands and then you will tell, now you will be standing like a national anthem pose. Then you will tell, no. This time your hands have come out of your pocket. Now you need to open up. Now you need not be stiff. You just relax. Use your hands. Use your hands to show. Use your hands to express. Then you are getting that awareness again and again. When you are getting that awareness, that transforms into a behavioral change. That behavioral change is very important for your excellence journey. When that behavioral change continuously happens, and then when you go to the next level, the third level, where it becomes a habit. And habit is the one thing which is required for excellence, right? Excellence is an habit. That is where your transformation occurs. And it is very easy for someone to tell, I need to compare myself with Rishi. Rishi is born and brought up in UK. You cannot compare with him. So in our case, we need to compare ourselves with ourselves. And we need to, there is nobody else to compete here. So you said, okay, last time I was using notes. This time I will not use notes. Last time I was not using the stage fully. This time I will use the stage fully. Last time I didn't have eye contact. This time I will have eye contact. These are the awareness points which will help you to transform you from one level to other level. And with right amount of practice, you will be reaching that great height. Hope this answers your questions, Toastmaster Vishwanath.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Now we have
All right,
a question from TM Vijay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
See, my question is, there is a difference between conversation and communication. See, conversation is always one-to-one. Communication is one-to-many. See, give some attributes wherein I can improve my communication skills.
So communication is a kind of a greater set, and conversation, you can consider one element of that communication. So if you want to communicate with them, now I am interacting with that, right? That is a kind of a conversation. So I ask, how many of you have done this? That is a conversation. So without this conversation built in, the communication will not be effective. Say, for example, in a control system, if you look at it, there are three elements: input, process, and output. And there is a feedback which goes to the input and process, and which will help you to get that desired output. So in communication also, it is like this. It is the response what you get. If I am communicating correctly or not, how do you know? By means of this conversation. So if you want to focus on this conversation as a one-to-one conversation, so you need to converse with your family members or your colleagues. So that one-to-one conversation, most of us will be doing it easily. But when it comes to one-to-many, as you rightly said, when one-to-many, you need to see how the audience is reacting. Today, I'm seeing around 10 people have opened their videos. That means should I feel bad that, oh no, other guys are not interested? No, they're all interested. They see the people who are asking that question, they are raising their hands and then they are speaking. That means they were all listening. And that is the acknowledgement what I am getting as a speaker. So when you are having that one-to-many conversations, you need to see that at right intervals, we will have that conversation embedded in your speech, which will ensure that you have the right delivery what you need. Otherwise, your communication will be one way and it will reach to the last individual or may not. You do not know whether it has reached or not. It is just like a statement what you make in public, one-way statement, and it may or may not reach the individual. So they may not follow it. But when you are doing a communication practice in Toastmasters, we always suggest that there should be a call for action. There should be a takeaway message, which will make the audience to think, okay, I need to do this and I need to change this particular attribute in my life. That is where the communication becomes effective. And it comes over a period of time where people continuously embed these conversations and it will be effective. So this is what I was asking Subbu. Can we have, are you guys having this session online or offline? It is offline, online. So that is what I was indicating. So if it is an offline session for a new member, it would have been more powerful. But based on logistics constraint, considering 3 states, 3 divisions in this district, it is very difficult for them to organize. So the communication may not be effective, but at least for the individuals who are active, who are participative, definitely I believe it will be effective. Hope that addresses your question,
So
Toastmaster.
it should be more of interactive sessions rather than a monologue.
Correct.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.